Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Blue Gamer Bluecast morning show. Yeah, clear my throat after a few words. Sure, that's a way to open. But no, good morning, all. Happy Monday. It is the end of the month. We've got a new month coming. We've got some jokes tomorrow, probably, and then uh, let's see what April's releases are. But good morning, Ultronomus, Talos, Jamkillex. Good to see you guys. Yeah, hope you guys all had a good weekend. Here in Texas, it's a little cool in the morning, but the sun is out and it should be a little nicer, although we're getting a bunch of storms later, so it's going to change. But yeah, hope you all had a good weekend. I did. I didn't play a lot of games, but I played a lot of different games. I ended up having a pretty busy weekend, actually, between some sports stuff and then stuff around the house, got new furniture, a lot of stuff. But yeah, let's jump into it. Let's start with what I've been playing. And what have I been playing? Well, let's top one. It Takes Two. Yeah, my wife and I play a little bit of that. And it's funny, every time we play this game, it's her initiating. I think the game is fine, but and I've explained it before. If I was to play it by myself, I wouldn't be playing it. It's just a fine platformer. But it's an experience I get to have with my wife, and she likes it, so that's cool. Okay. This is an interesting one. The Gal Guardians, Servants of the Dark. I played an hour and 34 minutes, and I actually refunded the game. So, here's what was going on. I'm playing the game, and I'm enjoying it somewhat, but the deeper I get into the game, the more I realize, man, and I don't want to say it's just not designed well, but I'm all about the exploration, the level layout, the map, and all that. And it's cool because by an hour and 34 minutes into the game, I already have a triple jump and a midair dash, so I can explore around, and it is so fun to do. The problem is the game world itself is super bland. Like, I'm kind of like, okay, well, what am I doing here? Because there's a lot of back travel. Yeah, that's common in these games, but this game kind of does it in a setup of, it's almost linear, but it's not. It's like, okay, you're in a new area, you're gonna have to explore it a long time before you find the fast travel. But as I'm getting further, sometimes it's like, well, I need to backtrack and do something. I don't know where this fast travel is, so I need to backtrack. And the world level is just, it's just kind of boring, and that's half of it. Like, I could almost get away with it. I mean, just sometimes when I'm backtracking, I'm going through large areas that maybe have one or two platforms and no enemies, and I'm just going from left to right with nothing to do. Like, I don't think that was thought out. And that could be a symptom of a low budget, because I do think these are lower budget games. The other issue, and I had to post it in the discussion, was the music is so low you cannot hear it. But I like music is a big deal for me in the video games, and the music sounds like it's good in this. You can't turn it up separately. And the because it's girl anime characters that are the main characters, they're constantly going, hey, like all these anime voices. So if I try to turn it up to listen to the music, I'm just constantly hearing all these anime girl voices, which I guess is not too big a video, but it's just so repetitious in this that it just drives me nuts. So it was a mix of very low music volume, you could barely hear, but high anime girl yelling, and then the map is so, I was like, man, I was playing the demo to purposely get to a point, okay, am I going to spend the money on this? And then yeah, it's just crazy I don't normally return a game, but I just knew I wasn't going to play it because so this is what I'm thinking. I would go back to this in the future. Let's say there's a sale or they fixed some things, then maybe I'd go back. But I feel like that's a pretty interesting way to go about this. The refund, normally I don't like to refund, but I am trying to be a little more careful, I guess, and deliberate with what games I'm buying versus what's on Game Pass or what's on PlayStation Plus, stuff like that. It sounds like there were stacking small issues rather than something overtly game breaking. Yeah, that's exactly a good way to put it, because you don't notice it. It's just over time you're like, well, okay, this, that. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Let's move on. Well, actually, yeah, to the next game I played, Soul Singer Envoy of Death. I think this was like $2 on some website. And this is a game, it's still in early access, but it's about to get an early access. That could have been why it was on sale. So it's funny how similar to Witchfire this game is. If you don't remember Witchfire, I want to say it came out in 2023, but early access on Epic Game Store and then 2024 on Steam. Still in early access. This game is very similar. They have the same similar aesthetic. I think Soul Slinger leans more into the cowboy part of this sort of demonic witch hunting style. That's kind of its. They're very similar games. They're both roguelikes. They're both very similar games. Soul Slinger just has more. It so far seems to be structured more like a single player campaign experience, even though it has roguelike elements thrown in. While Witchfire was very much hub and level, and anyway, both games. It's funny how both games are very interesting. Anyway, I just got this because it's still a brand new game that comes out this year in early access, but for only like $2. Sure. EA Sports FC 25. No, I did not play that, but I think I bought this for my son over the weekend. Let's see. Okay, Outpost Infinity Siege. This is a cool one. Talos, who was in chat earlier, showed me this game Saturday morning. I was in a rush doing stuff, but even in that moment of me being in a rush, just wanting to jump in and chat and say hi or whatever and see what he's playing, I got sold on a game. Usually it takes me time to get sold on a game. I already had this in my wish list. He was showing it to me. Badass first person game where it's almost like a horde mode, but there's also defense. The best way to explain it would be what I always wanted when I was younger of StarCraft, but then you can zoom into one of the Terran and then shoot around because you're building a base or an outpost. I didn't get too far, but I got through a few missions where it was trying to explain some of the concepts, like how building up your base works, how repairing turrets, building turrets, putting ammo in turrets. So yeah, you're in these areas where you have this big outpost you're building on, and then and you press the M key to get into like that mode where you can build or go back into your character, and then you go do first person jumping around and shooting. Ton of fun. I got to do some co-op with that because to me that's kind of just like a classic. Here is where FPSs are today, and here's how you can kind of maximize mechanics in it. And it feels really good. Talos was telling me it's a mix of Destiny and something else, and I feel that is correct. Like, it feels like Destiny shooting, which is actually pretty nice to see. But something else too. It almost has its unique, competent way of going about it. Now, this has been in early access for a long time, and I think it stopped, but it got to a point where they were adding so much that they couldn't add any more without breaking the code. So they're working on a sequel. So right now, you can get this first game pretty cheap. I think it was $12. And it is a fun. It is worth $12. Like the fun you can get out of it, even if you only played for a few hours, it's quite interesting. Oh yeah, and even in the early levels, I got a mech already. So I was in a mech, jumping around in a mech, shooting things. Graphics are good, and it's funny because there is a story there, and I don't care about story, but it just kind of gives you tidbits as you're going through the world, and it's cool the way they do it. So everything about the game is on point. So Talos, thanks for that. Oh yeah, don't forget the Mexican grunts you could spawn. Yeah, I wasn't spawning any. I'll have to do that, but I'm still early in, and I could still be in a tutorial area. I don't know. Okay, what else did I play? I didn't play Sniper Elite Resistance, so interesting that's on there. Although I do plan to play it because more missions from the season pass came out. I usually wait till the season pass is complete because it's like 3 missions or something, and then I just play through those. Because how I play Sniper Elite is I tend to play a mission, get what I can, but then I go to the next mission, and then I go back, and I haven't gone back yet. I tend to do that in the summer. When Sniper Elite 5 came out, I remember the summer I was spending my time getting all the other stuff. And then that's it. I'm not playing Atomfall anymore, even though I think it's cool. I just can't stand the combat. Like, I want to play a game for combat, but when I know I'm going to get into the combat, it's like, so that is that. It seems like there's a lot, but a little bit of each, not too much, not too much crazy gaming. Okay. Blades of Fire gameplay showcase video. What's Blades of Fire? Blades of Fire is a game made by Mercury Steam. If you guys aren't familiar with that name, I want to give them credit, but I don't think it turned out. They did the Castlevania Lords of the Fallen, or no, Lords of the Shadow, Lords of Fallen, something else. And then they did the second one, which the first one was fun. The second one was just like more of the same, but it wasn't like Castlevania, even though it was Castlevania. It was, it was Konami having a Western developer try a game. They also did it was released actually, I think, multi-platform, the Mirror of Fate HD. I didn't play that. Well, HD on Xbox and console. I think it was just Mirror of Fate on 3DS. It's them doing a side-scrolling Metroidvania, which I didn't play it. Maybe I should. And then, maybe I should. Should I be playing Castlevania Mirror of Fate? Because it wasn't proper Konami, I didn't really care. Because then here's the other thing. They came out with a remake of Samus Returns on 3DS that I played a little bit of. I didn't play it all, and it could be good, especially because it's a remake. But then they did Metroid Dread, and I tell you, I will always say this. This is what cements, I think, Nintendo as kind of always being a money-making, it's like Apple. Because Metroid Dread is, and again, this is my opinion, but I don't think that's a worthy entry into the side-scrolling Metroid games on a Nintendo console, especially a flagship Nintendo console. I mean, I beat it, and it had its moments, but that was such a... And let me say, it's a fun game. It's a good game, but not what Metroid... Like, to me, Metroid Dread is one of those $15 Metroidvanias on Steam. That's really what it is to me. There's these Metroidvanias on Steam that I've had way more fun with than Metroid Dread. I can't be the only one, and I know I'm not the only one, but I still think it's crazy that that's kind of not the zeitgeist stuff. Yeah, Metroid Dread came out and was okay, but we need more. And even that Metroid Prime 4 trailer on Switch 2, I mean, yeah, it looks like Metroid Prime with the Force. I don't want to get negative. I'm still going to play it. And I actually want to play the Prime remake. I haven't even got to that. Anyway, Blades of Fire comes out May 22nd. So here's the thing. I was just like crapping on Mercury Steam, but I would play this because I think every time they've been given an initiative, a mission, they've been able to actually do well considering they're just a outside Western developer. So I think if they have a game all on their own that they're working on and making, this could be a lot of fun. Just looking at the screenshot, seeing the guy about to swing his axe at some zombies, and you can see like Claymore, and it says 5 out of 60 enemies defeated. You got like Accursed Flesh, Troll Corpalite, 24 Iron. So I guess we're kind of seeing resources being gathered here. So it's not going to be on Steam, even though their name is Mercury Steam. That doesn't matter, right? I'm just picking random dates. Okay. I wasn't born in 85. I'm just okay. Okay, so $53.99, so a $60 game, not a 70, but still 60. Tells me, okay, are they just making a Souls-like? Because that combat looked very Soulsy, which, oh, that's pretty neat. Which, it's not. Is there something else? Oh, here, this might have more combat. It's 4 minutes. Okay, here's going through a menu of weapons. That can always be exciting. He's like, looks like you're constantly forging and upgrading. Oh, I like all the upgrade stuff I'm seeing here. Okay, I won't understand it all yet, but let's move on to some combat. We got 4 minutes of video here, guys. What is this? Look at this. It's like a blacksmith simulator. Okay, that might be a neat function of this game. but they're not showing much. Let me go back to this because this said gameplay showcase video, and it's right here. No, it's just opening up YouTube. That's too bad. So hopefully we get some gaming, more gaming, because this could be cool. This could be cool when you get this developers making their own thing. I'm kind of excited. Okay. Um, let's see. Metroid, the original that can't live up to the copycats. Yeah, that's so funny. I mean, and even like Super Metroid uh, is still like amazing. There's little things that it does that I should make a video. I always say that. Okay, let me close some windows. I have so many windows open. Like that. Okay. Zombie Army VR launches May 22nd. So this is pretty cool because I'm a huge fan of this developer, even though Adamfall didn't turn out what I wanted, but it wasn't a game made for me. Having Zombie Army VR on VR would be great. The thing is, I've noticed even lately with the VR games that I've been getting, Batman, Starship Troopers. I want to say there was another one. Oh, I didn't buy Aliens because it got bad reviews. These games, I play them and they're pretty good, but I think it's the whole having us, even though the Quest 3 is so awesome and it does, they don't even make the Quest 3 I have anymore, the high-end one, the premium one. It Even though putting it on, playing the game is fun, it's all that work of putting it on, getting set up, calibrating to where sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'd rather not play a VR game. It's very interesting. Once there's some, and this could be through the use of AI. I think when you put on the helmet and it can like do some sort of, because there's a lot. There's me, okay, getting it just right on my face so I could see, and then tighten it just right, and then getting the straps on, and then oh wait, the right one isn't connected. Oh, I got to troubleshoot first. Okay, let's, and then that whole thing. So, but Zombie Army VR. I'm a huge fan of Zombie Army. I would rather this be a proper sequel than a VR game, but I'll definitely check it out. Okay, they even have it up here. I'm gonna add to wish list. I didn't see this. So developer, even though it's Rebellion, you can see it's someone else. That could be good and that could be bad. Bad because then it might not feel like we want it, but good because that means Rebellion's actually working on the proper Zombie Army game right now. And at the price, I mean, I feel like this could be a lot of fun. Actually, I really do. I'm looking forward to this, and I just found out about this morning. Okay, I'm gonna close that. Close that. Split Fiction breaks 3 Guinness World Records. Okay, I'm curious which ones. Can you just list them in bullets? What? Am I? Wait, do I click on this? How do links work? Okay, most played local co-op video game on Steam, most sold local co-op video game within 48 hours of release, and most sold local co-op video game within 1 week of release. So that's pretty neat. And I will say, I do think when we talk about timelines diverging, I think there was a time in the early 2000s where multiplayer split and the whole classic kind of Nintendo co-op, N64, even Halo, that sort of co-op thing started going away in favor of multiplayer, but not just in favor of multiplayer, but to the point where developers weren't even bothering a co-op yet. People would have still been playing co-op. You know what I mean? It's like we can make something with a co-op thing. Oh, we might as well just go online. But you're really missing out on how important that co-op is. It might get people to play games more than they would. There could be games that people are only playing because there's co-op. And what I'm trying to also say is with what we're seeing with Steam, just Steam alone, all of these it might not mean much to say most sold local co-op, but for a local co-op game to get just high sales and recognition, I hope would tell developers, yeah, make more stuff like this. Like playing Alien Extermination. I remember when that first came out. I was like, okay, they're making a co-op game, but they're not making the levels like from a single player game, like, or not single, but a campaign like Split Fiction. They're just making it where it's horde mode stuff. So, and that's part of that split I'm talking about, where there's this move away from co-op campaign games. Again, Halo was doing it, but then and then like later on, you would get multiplayer, or you'd get these games that say it has multiplayer, but it's like a few like separate multiplayer missions that are not part of the main game. I think Call of Duty would do that. In fact, Call of Duty's main campaign, which I think they are now, but historically should have been co-op. So, kind of going back to what I'm getting at here is seeing the sales of split fiction. If you put the money, if you put your thoughtfulness into a game and you have something really you want to share that has co-op, I think it would work, and it could be another part of this market that we could capture, especially because Nintendo still kind of understands that to a degree. I don't know, because now their new virtual card. I was watching a podcast yesterday and they were saying I'm glad Nintendo's introducing the virtual card because we couldn't do this before. And I'm like, no, they're actually taking away features by introducing them. Unless I've missed something. I still have not seen anyone say or explain that virtual card being good, for not to sound bad, but are there even that many local co-op games, period? Yeah, and that's a good point. And there actually are. There are, but they're made as local co-op games, and they're not games that are made to include local co-op, which was, I know, was kind of confusing what I was trying to get at earlier. Again, it's that split where, yeah, if a game is made local co-op, it's like a game made for local co-op instead of making a game to add that local co-op into it. Split screen gaming. I remember, yeah, when this new Halo Infinite first came out, they didn't have the co-op or the split screen, and I was planning to do that with my youngest. Eventually, it came out, but by then we both lost interest. Never did it. Isn't that crazy? Lost Planet 2 co-op campaign was the best. Yes. See, Capcom figured something out. They just made it like a Lost Planet campaign that you could do co-op. That was great. Let's see. Star Guardian should have been, I don't League of Legends add-on. Oh, is that what that? Am I reading that right? I wasn't familiar with that. No idea. Okay. I feel like I have so many. Yeah, I don't think I'll be playing games again because there's so many news items. Like this Monster Hunter Wild smashes past 10 million sold. So I do think I might have to play Monster Hunter Wilds because this has sold so crazy that it's almost like another stratosphere. Currently, Monster Hunter World is Capcom's best-selling game ever at around 22 million units, but Monster Hunter Wilds is well on its way to matching it. This announcement means that Monster Hunter Wilds is now the 6th best-selling Capcom game ever, setting just behind Resident Evil Village, which is pretty crazy. I haven't even played through Village. So I'm being reminded, I need to keep this in mind, because sometimes I will get bored of a game and want to move on. I need to play the new Monster Hunter, and I need to finish Resident Evil Village. I mean, I did start it. I need to finish it. It's the only Resident Evil I haven't played through. Maybe I forgot if I played through 3 properly. Let's see. Yeah, so anyway, this game is huge, and I feel like I need to give it a shot because of that. But it could be just like music on the radio, where it doesn't matter how popular it is, I just can't get into it. All right. Let's see. The original Star Wars Battlefront and Battlefront 2 were great fun for local co-op. A good example there. The Star Guardians are a skin set in League of Legends that are magical girl themed and got super cool anime music videos and trailers, but somehow never got a standalone game. Oh, I see what you're saying. That is interesting when stuff like that happens. Just kind of like how often we're seeing Godzilla in DLC games, and why don't they just come out with proper Godzilla games? It's really weird. Even, I mean, PS4 ones over 10 years old now. Monster Hunter sold 10 times as much as Gunbreaker. Yeah, it's just crazy, like how, and I don't know what it is because the Gundam is a big IP. Monster Hunter is just in terms of video games, but it could be Capcom, and they've always been like this. They are gamer first. All the little things they're thinking about are gamer first, I think, even if we don't realize. Okay, Tony Hawk explains controversial Pro Skater 3-4 soundtrack change. It was my choice. So yeah, I'm curious about that because when I play like older games that had cool music and it's not there, a lot of times it's licensing. Like they couldn't get the license to have the music. The big one for me is any like remake or not remake, but re-release of Crazy Taxi doesn't have the Bad Religion and Offspring. Um, so I guess it was my choice to pick some different songs by the same artists featured in, he wrote. I'm hoping that discovery is half the fun. And I get what he's actually kind of doing, you know. There he's so inside baseball when it comes to making the game that I can see him being like a George Lucas. That's a huge leap, but like doing his own like cut, adding new music or something, interesting. I was just curious if it was like a legal thing, but it didn't seem to be. Okay, Take Two CEO explains why GTA 6 still doesn't have a release date. And honestly, what I've read, because I want to move on, it's just to keep the hype up. They know what they're doing. Okay, and so this news I think broke last week, and I didn't talk about it. Nintendo reportedly plotting a Zelda movie trilogy with filming set for New Zealand. So that could be a good sign because that just means I think there's a lot of people in New Zealand that are good with filmmaking in general, just because so many big productions have been done there. And I've always kind of heard that. I mean, even back in the 90s, Sam Raimi would bring his production to New Zealand to do like, the Hercules and Xena and even that Bruce Campbell show, Jack of All Trades. Major roles will be signed for 3 movies over 6 years, it's claimed. That's insane. Insane. Because this is like a dream, but I guess what's interesting about with the Zelda game, the Zelda world and the IP, it's like I love Zelda a lot. I like the idea of Link running around, fighting skeletons, trying to get to the castle. But through the years, it's funny how I've played Zelda games and would be like upset. Like I feel like that's kind of what makes me the fan I am of Zelda games. When Wind Waker first came out, I'm like, what are they doing? I didn't bother playing that until later, and I had a lot of fun, but I played the remake where they reduced the time spent sailing, and I enjoyed it, so maybe that was related to that. And then even, what was it, Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, because of the Wiimotes, I was like, nah, but came back around, great games. Same thing with the newer one, the Tears of the Kingdom, mainly because of how it runs. Like, a lot of it, too, is because it's not traditional Zelda. But if Switch 2 is running better, I'm totally going to play through it. So for a movie, I have no expectations. Because when I think of playing Legend of Zelda since the original, and I know I played the original on NES, but I don't think it was until maybe Super Nintendo that I was like, Game Boy. Link's Awakening on Game Boy was when I was like, oh man, this is amazing. It's that you're going on an adventure. You name your character in Zelda. Even though it's Link, you name your character. Your character doesn't really talk much. The idea behind those games is it's kind of you in that spot. So it'll be interesting how much they do that in these movies, and they could go the way they did that. Not Road War, Mad Max, the 2015 Mad Max with Tom Hardy, where he was kind of central in a way, but he wasn't talking. And I feel like you can get away with that. I feel like you can have the Zelda character be the exposition character that's talking, and Link is the one that's going out to fight. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. That's pretty neat. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Was first one, Lords of the Triforce. Oh yeah, because that's where they filmed it. Oh, Lord of the Rings X Zelda. That seems like that's a built-in thing. That's funny. I wonder how many pots will get smashed during production. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, let's move on. Leaked screens offer first glimpse at Respawn Star Wars strategy game, which to me did not look interesting at all. Because it is a strategy game, already there is no Star Wars combat. Already, then this game is just a strategy game. You know what I mean? I know. So then it's like, okay, how much in the production can they make it feel like Star Wars? And, I look at this and it's hard for me to think of anything other than modern day mobile game graphics, which these are better than that, but mobile game graphics are getting good. and just the way it's having to represent certain elements, the UI, and see, this would be great for people that like, strategy games like that, but I would pass. So I wonder what made them then stop, because this seems like this would be something that would be easy to make. Maybe it didn't have the Star Wars feel they wanted. Okay. Okay, exclusive US retailer documents shed light on Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order plans. Oh yeah, that's right. So from this, it sounds like that on April 2nd, they will tell us that on April 9th, we'll be able to pre-order. So, and I don't know what to expect from that. Are you guys pre-ordering? I kind of want to, but I kind of, it depends like what games they're going to have with it or something. I mean, if I could play Tears of the Kingdom in 60 FPS day one, yeah. Okay, Ghost of Yote releasing July 2025. Sorry. I do want to play that, but I haven't beat Ghost of Tsushima yet, and I'm at the end. So I need to do that. So this was another reminder. So I talked about some games earlier: Resident Evil Village, Monster Hunter Wilds, Ghost of Tsushima is another one. And the new StarCraft game in talks from Korean companies. So it makes sense that Microsoft is working with Korean companies to do the next StarCraft. I guess if that's the direction they want to go with StarCraft, I would prefer the other direction. This direction is to keep it more of a tournament-based RTS. And that's the one thing I don't like about StarCraft over Command and Conquer. Simple way to tell what I like about RTSs: take a Command and Conquer map, take a StarCraft map. StarCraft is just symmetrical. You know what's going to go on. Command and Conquer is asymmetrical. It's random patches of Tiberium. Like when I would play, especially Red Alert, I would do the random map generator. I prefer RTSs where you don't really know what the layout of the land is going to be like, and you have to go scout. That's part of the fun. But with the StarCraft, that's what it's called. With these StarCraft maps, you start off and you already know, okay, this guy's here, that guy's there. I need to expand and then do my Zerg rush. And then it's like, well, not as fun. That's probably why I never played the third StarCraft 2 release. All right. Yeah, this is about to end, but there's more news, and I really want to get through because it's helping me too. Microsoft might only release some Halo games from Halo Master Chief Collection on Nintendo Switch instead of the entire collection. Interesting. I mean, it'd be fun to get them anyway, but I could see. I mean, some Halos, like even Halo 4, was kind of a technical achievement, on the hardware it was on in the first place. And I don't think we have Halo 4, or is it Halo 5 on PC yet? So I think there are some potential technical reasons for that. Okay, and then this last thing I want to bring up, I thought was really awesome. There's this tweet by Retro Achievements. You guys know I talk about it all the time. I use Retro Achievements for when I'm playing games on emulators. I can make sure I'm tracking my progress. That way, when I'm looking at Exophase, I know where I am or whatever. I don't know. They do a really neat thing. It's a yearly event, Find the Pixel. Okay? So for this year, and actually, let me click on it. It is for Final Fantasy II. And I've never played this. And the idea is, well, I don't know if I want to click on the spoil. Oh, 20. So the idea is basically the picture of the achievement is a location in the game and you have to find it. And then I guess you get a badge for it. And so I guess you could, wait, this is from 2024. Oh yeah, they updated, I guess. Yeah, to the 2025 version. Find the Pixel. Isn't that cool? So I've never played this Final Fantasy. I don't know if it's worth it to do this little challenge. That's pretty cool, though. I'll have to think about it. And then lastly, I found out that Retro Achievements has a magazine, which is pretty cool because I feel like there's so many neat things, especially about older games, that you can just rediscover. And this might be a way to do that. So anyway, y'all, I am heading out. That was today's show. I feel like there was a lot of cool news, not any gameplay, but news to just kind of keep in mind, keep in your head as you're going. I'll be back tomorrow. And, just, I guess, I don't have any current game I'm playing. except for maybe a little bit of that Outpost game with Talos. I might jump into Soul Slinger, but I don't have a main right now since I've decided to back off of Rise of Ronin and AC Shadows for now, just because I got myself so into that stuff. So, you know what? Tomorrow, since it is the first, we'll talk about game releases of April. So, all right, all. I'm going to head out. Have a good one. We'll talk later.